Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Kopi Talks, where we stress about FPL so you don't have to. I'm Anwar, the Are You Sure You're Casual?
I'm ABK, the Arsenal loyalist.
And I am Lukman, the sensible one. How's it going, boys?
How are
Going
you
great,
doing, bro?
bro.
How are you
Going
doing?
really great, bro. Only thing
So
is
this
that
week,
we
yeah,
are we are podding the different timing today.
yeah. So it's ABK's your first school day, right? Today, your first
No
day
lah,
in
no lah.
school today.
Last week was my first school day, so this is my second week of school
Oh,
day. Yeah,
so
How's it?
usually
but
he would have class.
yeah, but I'm up early today. For the pod. For the pod. Yeah,
Yeah, and Lokman is actually down with COVID.
yeah. So
How you feeling, bro? Your first time?
No, not my first time. But it's
Just for
been a
the
while.
MC lah. Fake
I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
result for the MC.
you got ill watching your team play. Is it?
Correct. I'll tell the story later in
watching
the segment.
the VR call.
Yeah. That could have played a part, but I'll tell you more about it in the what's that segment? Tall, Venti, and
Tall, Grande, and
Grande.
Venti,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
yeah.
more. Yeah, but did you watch the Champions League last night?
yeah. I
UK?
did. Yeah, disappointing.
How's it, man?
Disappointing. Yeah, cried myself to sleep last night.
Alright. I guess it's time we
Stadium
start the
Lens,
pod. No, they are 15 in the League One. 15.
Yeah, the only person I know in the team is the keeper. I see him sometimes in the. I don't know. I don't know where I see him.
Alright. I guess it's time to start the pod proper. But before that, don't forget to follow FPL Kopi Talks on IG, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and X.
Yes, show us some love with a like, follow, and subscribe. We're always working hard to provide up-to-date, top content to partner you in your FPL journey.
Also, if you haven't, do join our Telegram group where we're running our FPL Prize League. I'm really looking forward to this spot, and without further ado, grab your beverage of choice. This is episode 85, Watkins on Sunshine. Let's get into it.
Bos, kopi O1 bos.
You're listening to FPL Kopi Talks.
It's Freddie Youngberg again. Push out by Bartes. Wilson!
Right here. Right now.
What a piece of quick thinking!
Okay, so we start with Tall, Grande, and Venti. This segment is where we put our purely biased, highly opinionated ratings of this game week. Who wants to go first, bro?
Maybe we go for.
I think I have the worst.
Oh,
Worst to best?
Worst to best?
No. What's the best?
I don't know
with
whether it
me,
was
bro?
me or not. Okay,
Me.
you go first. Okay, you go first. No, I think mine is worse because I had COVID as well. So okay, you can go first.
Like both on and off, Wow, what a game week, man! What a game week. I know. I told myself I don't want to go into this pod lamenting some of the decisions that were made last week, but after hearing the release of the VAR audio this morning, it was absolutely shambolic, man. Absolutely shambolic. And to help, because of that, right? I think Salah blanked. I would say blanked, and I had a
Yes.
really horrid game week. I thought Pickford would at least keep a clean sheet against Luton, but he let in two. And overall, with the VAR decisions, with the Liverpool last minute Matip goal, and the points that I had for 41, right, like 9 under, and I actually this week I actually dropped behind ABK in all rankings. I would give it a 1.6 out of 10, man. This is the worst FPL game week I've ever had. It's the worst one. How about you, Lukman?
I'm just
Wait, so I
wondering
watched
where
the
you
game.
get all this like decimal points from. Like you cannot keep it to 0.5 or 0.0. I need to put 0.6.
Arbitrary.
No, because-
arbitrary.
Yeah. I mean, 1.6.
It reminds you of your
is
primary
some
school
math
days,
that-
1.6
there is some
kilometer
math
runs,
that go behind it.
Okay, look,
There's some maths lah, but I think if I go into the details, right, we take more than this.
Too long.
To
Yeah,
explain
let's
it.
move on.
Yeah, it's too long.
Okay, so
Science.
the game, so the big game, the Liverpool and Spurs. As a Liverpool fan, watching the game was just so. I had to stay up to watch the game. So on Sunday morning, I had plans because I have family friends from Indonesia coming. So I couldn't cancel it. So on Sunday morning when I woke up, I had like super high fever. I didn't know I had COVID then. So but I still had to carry on with my day because there were people coming in, right? So I woke up groggily, fever after the result was just horrendous. I mean, after everything and the game, and then my game week, also my game week was also quite bad. So if you add all that, I think the rating I'll give is probably around 2.5. It would have been lower if like Man United and Man City won lah, but they lost, right? So it kind of brought up a bit the pack, like above 2, but it's still horrendous cause my game week also was bad. So yeah, I think my rating was 2.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
ABK.
For me, I think it's no. It's easy to guess
it,
what ranking that. No. It's not a 10 lah. It's not a 10 lah. I would say it's a. You ain't a 0.6. Yeah, so I'll rate it 8.5 lah. 8.5. Yeah, as in as Anwaar mentioned, it's a topsy-turvy week. So it's a week that I managed to catch up with a lot of people. A lot of people dropped. I think there was big differences in points. So I think my strategy to kind of wildcard last week, I think it was kind of a surprise move, but it kind of worked out for me. Right. I mean, after a week that I had a good game week and a wildcarding the week after, right, it was a bit kind of dangerous to do that. But it kind of worked for me. The strategy worked for me. There were a lot of players I need to get rid of, right? And then they came through for me, those guys. Yeah, so FPL sense, really, really good week. I mean, the only thing is that I bench cash, and I also didn't play Saka. As in, I got Saka on my team at the last minute, so I think that was a bit of a bummer when I
Probably thought he was injured, right?
Yeah, I thought
you
he was
bench
injured.
him or you bench him or
I sold
you
him.
didn't have him?
I sold Saka out for Fernandes. Yeah. So I kind of
You're part of the 800,000. You're part of the 800,000 who sold Saka.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then after he returned, so I mean, quite disappointing.
Let's talk about him later.
Yeah. Quite disappointing to sell my own Arsenal player, because you know how big of a loyalist I am.
And you got lucky. He was in the mood of
Yeah.
giving away penalties. Like,
He was
like
in the mood
Christmas,
of giving Christmas came early. Yeah. So anyway, like on the football side, it's also something that I'm really, really happy about this week. Arsenal dominating as steamrolled Bournemouth. It was a very, very easy game. Havertz scoring again. Actually not
Okay,
again.
we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it.
But then
Hey.
I mean the big teams Man City dropping points, Liverpool dropping points. I was hoping for a Liverpool Tottenham draw. I was kind of happy with a 1-1. But then towards the end Tottenham scored. So I think that's the reason why
8.5 include the Champions League loss this morning? Or
No. Just
FPL,
fully
not
FPL
UCL.
and EPL. I think if you want to factor in the Champions League loss, maybe I will minus one more point.
6 minus 1. Okay.
Minus one.
Okay.
7.5.
Okay, so Brew of the Week. In this segment, we discuss players or teams that had exceeded our FPL expectations and we feel might go into a hot streak of brewing form. So, Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1. So, you know what's the XG for this game? Have your... So,
yeah.
Brighton
Was
had more
pretty good,
XG
right?
than
Like, I
Aston
think,
Villa.
yeah.
So, Brighton had
Brighton at
1.71.
Yeah.
Villa at 1.58 and it was 6-1. So yeah, that's quite interesting.
That's
But
not
yeah,
bad.
just a quick start on Watkins, the main guy for ABK's wildcard. He has registered 29 goal contributions.
No. He's not my main guy in my wildcard. He's always been in my team
Why?
from day one.
Yeah, lah, but he's their wildcard team. He's the main guy who scored you so
Main
many
guy
points,
who
bro.
scored me points for my wildcard. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Because I did ask you to take him out, lah. Why you never listen to me, bro?
Yeah. No way.
Back to the stat. 29 goal contributions, 17 goals and 12 assists since Unai Emery replaced Steven Gerrard. That is more than any other player in fantasy, bar Haaland and Salah. So basically, he's been on it, lah. I mean, he's been consistently on it for more than 1 year already. So yeah, so going into game week 6, right, he had no goals. But after game week 7, he's the top scoring FPL player. How do you do that, man? 1 more point than Haaland. So ABK, what?
It was coming
What
like.
do you think?
I was coming like, it was like slowly like he's been clocking up the points. Right, that's a 5 points. Right, then you knew the floodgates was gonna open someday lah. And I
His
held on.
underlying was there, right? His underlying.
I think not really also actually. Yeah. The underlying it isn't like a hat trick with a few assists kind of underlying lah. There was, I mean, there was some underlying stats, but it wasn't like a kind of a big. I mean, like even what you mentioned, the XG wasn't even 1.5. As in what it wasn't even more than 2, right? So I mean, the underlying so in this game also doesn't show that he will score that. But I just want to a quick mention was that there was this one question. Okay.
Yeah. No, so that being said, right, what ABK is putting on captain hindsight point of view, right? So actually the underlines for Watkins hasn't been great. He just got lucky. I won't say he got lucky in this game. He converted his chances in this game. 3 goals in this game, and I think that was where he gained most of the point. But looking from someone out looking in, right, I think it's interesting, especially for the run of games that Aston Villa is going to come in. It's definitely going to give him that boost of confidence. So Aston Villa has some solid games coming up. So it's really good. And I have Diaby, so I'm happy that Diaby returned with 2 assists. And I think Diaby is also quite instrumental in this team. He's slowly going to clock up the points. I think he played as a second striker in that game. He's at 6.6 million now, and I won't be surprised. I mean, right now he has an orange sticker on him. I think for an injury or something like that. But I won't be surprised if like that goes away, that his price will go up soon with more people looking to bring him in as an Aston Villa asset for the coming games.
Okay, like the orange sticker aside. Okay, the thing I want to say just now was that
someone asked a question, is it?
Someone asked a question like like long time ago, like 2 pods ago. They say who's the best partner for Alan on the in the forward.
Oh, it's a must-have striker, is it?
The must-have striker question.
Yeah.
I say Watkins, bro.
Okay,
I say Watkins. I'm just gonna stick to my Watkins. I don't think there's a must-have striker. I'm just gonna stick to Watkins. So I'm just gonna plug that now. Like I actually did like
you called it
I call it. But the thing is, the thing is that with Lukman's recommendation, it's not that I didn't think about it. Like I spent the week actually contemplating the move to go Nunes. So I wanted to do Watkins to Nunes and then Foden to Diaby. Yeah.
Sure,
so the only reason why I didn't do it in the end, right, was that the only reason I was really tempted to do it, to be honest. Like, but then the only reason why I didn't do that was because of the minutes. Like I think Watkins, right, there's no one that is competing with him for that spot. I think back then he used to have Ings or like Archer that's like playing in the same position as him. But I think at the
John
moment,
Duran.
Duran. At the moment, like even Diaby, Diaby is playing alongside him, right? So I mean, there's no one competing for the spot. Whereas for Nunes, right, it could be a risk, and then they have like European games, and then if he doesn't start the European games, if he starts the European games, there's a chance that he doesn't start the Premier League game. So in the end, I decided not to go with Nunes because Watkins is a more nil option for me. Yeah.
23 points, man. No, without any penalties. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Just crazy. I still don't think he's a clinical finisher, despite 23 points. I know it's a bit ironic, but I still think technically he's not the best. Do you agree? He's finishing. Remember, because he had a lot of chances. Remember back last season, he used to have a lot of chances that he still missed. I still think he's that player. He still needs to improve his finishing, but yeah, whether he's essential, he probably is, right?
I mean, essential, I don't know lah. But I mean, like, what you get from him is you get almost 90 minutes every game, right? And then like he's just given all the chances that he has to score. I think there are weeks that he convert and there are weeks he won't. I think one thing I wanna just touch on based on Anwar's point, right? Okay, let's put aside the orange flag on Diaby. Is it viable if you're on a wildcard to go for both Diaby and Watkins? What do you think?
Definitely viable. I have both of them on my team after this week's wildcard.
Yeah.
So I'll share a bit more.
I would put because the fixtures, right?
I'll share a bit more.
And cash also. I'll triple up also, actually.
Triple up on Villa, yeah. Because at first, like, I thought it was like a Watkins or Diaby. You shouldn't have both lah. But now I'm leaning towards. So I mean, of course, like, on hindsight, right? After this week, right? You think like, okay, it's good to have 3, right? But yeah.
So from the start, I already said Diaby from the start of the season, right? Because I felt like it was absolute value at 6.5 million as a second striker to Watkins. So the way Unai Emery sets up this team, he usually has this big man, small man partnership up front. And I think that Diaby did well. He was from, if I'm not wrong, he was from the German league, and he was absolutely outstanding. I think he was from
Leverkusen.
Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, he was absolutely outstanding there. So I think he played out wide there. And when he came to Aston Villa, Emery actually played him in a more support striker role, just behind Watkins, and he has been absolutely brilliant there as well. I'm just surprised that Leon Bailey has not had more opportunity. I think he's now out injured, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's another player that it was between Diaby and Bailey, to be honest, at the start of the season, and I'm glad that I actually bet on Diaby instead of Bailey. Yeah.
So spoiler lah, Anwar activated your wildcard already, right?
Yeah, wildcard.
Okay, stay tuned to
I can't, bro.
See. Huh? Wait, you activated, right?
Yeah. As in, I
You
can't
sure you
go
press the
without
button,
the
right?
wildcard. I pressed already, confirm. Minus 56 points. But yeah, I wildcarded.
Okay. We stay tuned to the end of the pod to see his draft. But yeah, anything else on Villa?
Yeah, just touch on a bit on Diaby. I'm quite surprised. I'm just looking at his stats now. He's got 31 goals in 125 games for Leverkusen, Diaby. So actually pretty decent.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Returns.
That's quite decent, actually.
Yeah, for a winger, right? I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
For wide midfielder.
50 million pounds, right?
Was he?
I think around
can't remember.
50. And Leon Bailey also came from Leverkusen. So
Was he? I thought he's from Jamaica.
Yeah.
No. Okay, next brew of the week, second of the week. We haven't brewed them so far, so we'll give it to them one time. So it's Arsenal, ABK's team. I didn't watch the game, so ABK, why don't you?
Lucky lah,
Take
bro.
over.
Lucky.
Lucky.
Two
4-0
penalties.
4-0 lucky.
2 penalties. 1 rebound. Saka tap in.
Rebound, Saka tap in.
And set piece lah. The set piece was class. The first goal was the first goal was
Who's
a
got the
set
set
piece.
piece?
Like Saka.
The last
Ben
one
White.
set piece.
Hey bro, you watch the match not?
Yeah.
You watch right?
You
Yeah, I forgot already because I watched yesterday's game.
Erased by the
Right,
lens.
yeah.
The lens.
Wait.
Lawns.
Why Ben White never start this morning?
I have no idea actually.
topic.
I think he just
Okay.
I think they just
They-
rotating a bit like resting players and all that. Yeah,
Okay, let's talk about
Able
Arteta.
deputy
So
Tom-
before the game,
Tomiyasu.
let's talk about the game. Let's talk before the game, right? Before the game week, right? Arteta said he didn't train, right? And there were pictures that he wasn't in training. Saka, I'm talking about Saka. That's why there were 800K managers who sold him, including ABK in his wildcard.
Yeah.
So, do we just not believe Arteta from now, or? Cause I'm sure he trained, right? Or do you think he didn't train and then
I think he didn't train. I think for me, I think I'm a bit critical of the management of Saka at the moment. I feel like they should like protect him a bit. They should make sure that he manage his minutes a bit. I know he's a talisman. He's important to the Arsenal team, right? But if he's injured. I mean, we're playing against Bournemouth. I think we should have not started him if he was and if he had niggles. I mean, he can't go on playing every game of the season. I mean, what happened yesterday's game? I think 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, what happened?
in. Yeah, he got injured again. So
It's a risk
it's-
now, right? To play this weekend.
yeah, I mean, I think now he's a real doubt for Man City lah. And then even
Can I touch a bit?
after we've won we've scored like 3 goals already. The first person he took out was Odegaard and someone else I can't remember lah. He took Saka out later when he got injured lah. So I think it's bad game management. I think we're just gonna run him to the ground if we don't manage his we don't manage his
It's
injury.
only
properly
7
lah.
game weeks.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't
I
have another right midfielder to
I would say
cover
that. I
for him.
mean, there's no one that's like an able deputy. I mean, Trossard can play there. Jesus can play there. I mean, if you want to put Fabio Vieira there yesterday, they sub in Vieira for
Jesus
him
could
there.
actually
So
play
that-
But I think it's
Yeah.
concerned the dynamics of the team would
yeah.
probably.
I
change,
mean the attack won't be as good with Saka without Saka there lah, definitely. But
Yeah.
we gotta try lah because we can't be a one man team. We can't be dependent on Saka. That's what I feel lah.
So I got quite lucky with Saka this week. I actually have him in my team and I got the 9 points. Basically, my
Unlucky,
team
bro.
was
He
quite.
could have gotten 20
Oh.
points. He could have gotten 20
No,
points.
no.
so
I mean,
it's unlucky.
okay. The thing was, I actually considered selling him because my bench is really weak. Like I got Udogi,
Yeah.
Gusto, who's injured, and I had Rijo, and then like
Who
I
is not
started
Injured,
on
right?
Toma.
Gusto is
Carded,
suspended.
suspended. Yeah, so like I only had Udogie on my bench.
Who you have sold him for?
Odegaard
Saka.
or someone else. Yeah, I mean I could have done him for Odegaard lah, but I decided
Odegaard
to. I wanted to.
would have been a good choice because he scored more points, right?
Yeah, it would have
Saka.
been a good choice, but I just put him in. I
he did.
tried to strengthen my bench a bit with Archer, and then because I think Estupinian and Mitoma was also a rotation risk for that week, and then yeah, so I just got lucky lah with Saka. But like you say lah, his management.
thing is, okay.
Mm,
The thing is, if the same things that comes out from Arteta going to the Man City game, right? I have a feeling Saka will still play even though he's like 10% or 25% because he's still Man City. And he might still return because Man City has no Rodri, and that's why I'm still in a dilemma now
yeah.
whether to sell Saka or not. Yeah, that's the thing.
I think it's not even the fault of the team and in the manager. I think Saka also. I mean, I think seems like he forces himself. I think and I think he's never had a long or huge injury, right? So I think sometimes that some footballers' mentality when they haven't got like really injured yet, right, is that just play on, like you can just like run it off kind of thing, Yeah, so that's also bad lah. I mean, maybe that's a bit of
he shouldn't have started this morning.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know why he started. Yeah.
But Odegaard, what
well.
a player, man. Odegaard. I
Yeah.
really
So
think he's really stepping up.
Is he an option though?
What do you think, ABK?
FPL.
I mean,
He's
if Saka is already in your team, then I wouldn't put him in. Yeah.
Saka first.
Saka's
as in
first.
there's no-
But unless maybe Saka gets injured, then I think second choice I will put Odegaard in. Yeah.
But I really don't understand the penalty decision. Why you give it up to
It's
Odegaard?
the beauty of it, bro.
I think
Arteta
my in my head lah. I think because
Yeah,
I think Neto is a good penalty saver. Like he knows how to save penalties, right? And he
You
would
shouldn't your
have
number one take.
studied Saka's patterns already. I think.
That makes sense.
Right.
So Saka not confident lah.
So
Euro
when-
20
maybe-
semi-finals all over again.
Oh no, maybe he's really injured. He can't take.
yeah, that's why.
another
Yeah,
factor, right?
that's also
yeah,
another
I
factor
don't know
also.
lah.
He's-
A bit
he's
bitter that
such-
he took both
but it's a bit
penalties.
weird, like you can play a game but you cannot shoot the penalty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
don't
know.
know lah.
Okay. Rose of the week. In this segment, we discuss players or teams that could have done much better this game week and deserve the rose coming their way. So it's not the first time you are roasting them this game week. This season, I think. It's Manchester United. So they are ranked 12 in XG. So to say that they are missing their chances, also we can't say that. So it's basically the whole team's issue lah. So yeah. So let's talk about the main guy. I think I still have Rashford. Who has Rashford? Ano? Oh yeah, you're
I had
wild card,
Rashford. I had Rashford.
Oh, yeah, so
you know.
Yeah. So Rashford's form has got to a point that even Ten Hag has to answer questions of his poor form. So that's how bad Rashford has been playing. But yeah, what do you think of Man United and Rashford? TVK,
I think it's the whole team structure as a whole lah. I think was it yesterday or earlier this week, Zlatan came forward to give his opinion,
Yeah,
and
quite
Claude
interesting.
Zlatan said that I think it's the management because ETH, right? He said ETH is doing it's not really a tested manager. Like he's applying what he did at AX at United, and United don't have the same setup as AX, and I think that's what might be wrong. But
One
if you
of the
look
points
at
he
this-
mentioned was that AX is a youthful team with youthful energy, and managing a youthful team like with youth stars is different from managing a team of like already established superstars in terms of like
Correct.
mentality and how you treat them. Right?
Yeah. And then you look like on-field reactions, like for example, Casemiro like acknowledging Højlund and then saying that then giving comments like, I didn't know he was this good. Like it's comments like this lah. So it's a team. It looks very disjointed. In terms of gameplay, I think Rashford tried to share a bit more. Like there were a few times where he actually gave the pass when he would usually take the shot, but they could also come up to Crystal Palace very tight defensive structure lah. And I think Johnston also did a couple of good saves. So Johnston as a goalkeeper, FPL said I think it's one to look out for as well.
Yeah,
And I think as a whole, United a lot of things that they've had a long injury list as well. So that doesn't help them, and I don't know what else to say, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay, but then the thing is,
even as
one thing is
yeah,
like if there's the criticism on the manager, right? Saying what changed from last season, you know what I mean? Like so, last season they were a team that we know that Manu in the past few seasons before ETH they were pretty bad also. Like I mean, um, they couldn't even qualify for Champions League. So last season, I think ETH did pretty well. They managed to end up fourth. I think we saw the best of Rashford in many seasons, right? So what changed this season that suddenly became like everything
I think it
just
was
turned for
just
them?
last season. Okay, to be very honest, right? I mean, I might be a bitter rival, but last season I felt that they got away quite lucky with many games. There were a lot of 1-0 wins. Last game that actually clocked them the points, and Rashford was in a form of his life. So
correct.
with Rashford dropping, I mean to be fair, Rashford played well in that team, and I think ETH wanted to prioritize him in this setup as well. But the downside to that is that when if Rashford does not perform, as we have seen he has not in the last 7 weeks, then the whole team just I would say like I won't say disintegrate. Right now what he's doing, if you see he's putting Hoyland up front, he's trying with Pedestri on the left, he's trying with Garnacho on the left, he's trying many different things just to see what works, because I think coming into the season he's just hoping that, Rashford will recover the form, give the ball to
Correct.
him,
Agreed.
set the team up around him, and then yeah. But apart from that, I think there's some other things as well like that's missing. So I was watching this video on what's missing in this United setup is the counter pressing. So this team, if with like Bruno is excellent in counter pressing, but Rashford does not contribute as much
Yep.
in counter pressing, and then the defensive deep lying midfielders as well, and the wide midfielders. So it's an issue. The problem with having with the way ETH wants to play is that with counter pressing you're trying to overload the ball, so that you have numerical advantage. But the moment you lose that area in the overload, you get overloaded instead. So it's a very high risk, high return kind of game, and I think he doesn't have the right players to execute that.
Yeah,
So
like
that's another thing as
the
well.
other thing I want to just touch on is the counter pressing point is that counter pressing works if everyone works together. If you
Yeah,
have one person that's not doing the counter press like Rashford, right, then it just breaks apart, because then that one person is free to do anything they want, and they can just pass off the ball already. Yeah, so they need
Yeah.
to
yeah.
work
Well said.
together to counter press. Yeah, and
I think.
there were a lot of clips, and then there's been a lot of criticisms of Rashford in terms of he doesn't press like when the team loses the ball, right? He's just lightly jogging. So I think there could be a mentality
I know.
thing from a Rashford. Like he thinks that he wants to conserve for for counter attack or to something like that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and I think it's very similar. Like as a form as a whole, if you look at the last season Liverpool team just before the Christmas break where we really went down, I think when in terms of counter pressing, it's really about the tempo, about the rhythm, about the momentum, and when you're out of it, right, it's really quite difficult to get in. But if there's any silver lining, I think the inception of Hoyland into this lineup could change the dynamics of things. I think he scored two this morning in the
Mm.
Champions League, but
Yep.
although they actually
He's got
went
luck.
on to lose that game, but he scored, and I think as a central, like what was missing in last season's ETH team was a focal central striker that could benefit from the team, that could benefit from this team, and I think Hoyland actually provides that, but it's still too early to say if like they will pick up in the next few game
Yeah.
fixtures.
Mm.
Yeah, well said on the counter pressing. Okay, the thing is, okay, Rashford blank in the last 3 games, right? And Hoyland, that's when Hoyland started for the first time. So I think
Mhm.
Hoyland, right, is kind of like limiting Rashford. So in my opinion, Rashford is their best player. Rashford is what Salah is to Liverpool, right? So I think maybe having Hoyland there is not good for Rashford, which in turn like is not good for the team. So maybe that
Yeah,
could be
no,
good
good
and
for the
bad.
team.
So yeah, like for example, like Hoyland is limiting Rashford, right? And I think Rashford is a better player, obviously, than Hoyland, right? Hoyland is still new and raw.
Yeah, but Rashford, he's like
I know your form lah.
it's up to him, no? Like I mean, at the end of the day, the form depends on him. It's not like the team brings out the best in him. You get what I mean?
No, but
Like, I feel that way. I feel like
Højlund affects. You don't think Højlund affects him?
yeah, Højlund
From these
affects
two
how
last
he
two games.
plays, but as a whole, I think as a team, they have a better potential to perform better with Højlund in the team than to keep sticking to Rashford in the
Yeah,
team.
we
That's
see.
my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
good,
I mean the alternative is to Højlund is Anthony Martial. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's true lah.
yeah, okay.
So if
Just,
Højlund
Last
in, right?
season,
sorry.
okay, enough on good discussion on
No,
Man U, good dissection.
yeah, but
okay, it's a
Okay.
good dissection, but
Last
I
words,
want
last
to know
words.
I want to know the
Last words.
conclusion. I want to know the conclusion. Rashford, do we keep or do we sell or do we?
Wait. I got
what
one
happens
stat on
here?
Rashford. So I got one stat on Rashford. He has the most goal attempts in the box than any other FPL midfielders this season, and he's underachieving more on the XG than any other midfielder. So he's still getting the shots from game week 1 for the whole season. But watching him, right, his decision making, like with Højlund, for the last 2 games I watched the whole game for Man U, right, I just don't feel it with him and Højlund. I know it's only 2 games, right? Things could change, and his body language and all. So for me, it's an easy sell. But then again, they are home to Brentford, and if you watch Brentford, right, they lost to Everton. They should have lost to Forest, so they got lucky also. So it's a bit, yeah. But if you can sell Rashford to Son, then that's the most easiest transfer you can do lah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I think it's too expensive for what he's producing right now.
Yeah.
And there are many
Correct.
better options out there. You can even bring Watkins in a two-way transfer. There are many better options out there, and I think Brentford is in the same league as Crystal Palace, and they showed they couldn't do it at home against Crystal Palace.
So
Yeah.
okay, one other question is if you have
So-
Fernandes and Rashford, which one would you rather have?
Rashford.
Fernandes,
I have Bruno. I have Bruno. Yeah, sorry.
Bruno.
Okay, perfect. That answers my question because I have Fernandes in my team still.
I think
So
Bruno-
my plan
Yeah,
for
but actually-
my plan for Fernandes was always to bring Saka back in for this spot. It's just that he faced Brentford home, and after that he faces Sheffield away. So I think maybe in game week 10 when he faces Man City, maybe I can ship him out then.
Yeah,
But
that is an easy transfer. Yeah.
yeah. So
For Brentford, you can
I'll
play him.
still hold him for Brentford and Sheffield. I think same. My advice will be the same if you have. I mean, if you're on a wild card, then definitely you can take Rashford out lah. But if you're not on a wild card, I think you can keep Rashford until the Sheffield fixture lah. Yeah, that's
I'll
what
no
have the
other
dilemma
fires
of
to fight.
selling. No, my dilemma is selling him or Saka. That's why the Arteta's comments is very important. I'll have a dilemma whether I should sell Saka or Rashford.
My feeling is that this time I think Saka is really out injured. I'm got a feeling
But it's Man
he
City.
won't
He
make
will
the-
probably play, right?
I got a feeling
That's the thing.
I think the thing is, I think he's injured. He's really injured now. Like, I think
Yeah, true.
we've really pushed him a bit too far already in the past few games.
Talking about
But this morning's
talking
game,
about
right?
City, yeah.
Was it like he got took out in the 30th minute, right? Was it like was he limping or was he walking away? Do you remember?
I mean, I saw him walking back to the bench. I mean, like in second half, he was just
Maybe
chilling, walking
cautious,
on the bench.
precaution. Maybe
I don't
precaution?
know, man. I don't know. Maybe
Yes,
mind
yes.
games. Mind
I know.
games. Man
Ano?
City,
What did I say?
No, I'm just saying. Talking about City, that's our other roast of the week for
Yes, correct.
for this week.
It's not often we get to roast Man City, so we have to lap it up. But don't take too long. But yeah, so Erling Haaland, right, only managed one shot the entire match, 0.06 xg. So they were saying it's a Craig Dawson masterclass. So I'm not sure.
I tell you guys, like the Man City, right? They will win all the teams. Right? It's just like some random, like a
Okay lah.
bottom 5 team. I mean, it's not Luton lah. The other time I mentioned was Luton that's gonna
Yeah
beat
lah.
Man City.
It's not
But
Luton
it took like Wolves to beat them.
Bro.
That's kind of
No, but I think I think the Rodri, they were really missing Rodri.
Yes.
Rodri
I-
really give them that shape.
I
And I,
feel
think when
like
they put Nunes in, right, it wasn't the same.
I feel when you said Nunes, in my head, I thought it was Darwin.
Darwin.
Yeah, I think they're really missing the spine of the team. I think what worked for them last season a lot was the spine of the team of having De Bruyne and Rodri in the middle. They've lost De Bruyne for until maybe the end of the year, and I mean the next 3 games will be without Rodri. So I think that's where Man City is a bit lacking in the middle. I mean, you can say that they're a very stacked team, but even in a stacked team, you still need your key players to run the team. I
No,
mean,
but they have quality midfielders in my opinion. They have Kelvin Phillips, they have Matheus Nunes.
Kelvin Phillips.
But the thing is, right, I'm just not sure. I don't know if you guys read this, but Pep actually said or commented on Kelvin Phillips saying that he still does not have the qualities of midfielder that Pep wants, and we don't know exactly what it is because Kelvin Phillips was a beast of a player when he was playing for Leeds and the Beast lah, and that is not good quality for Pep's midfield. I'm not sure what is lah. So yeah, I mean, like to say that they don't have quality midfielders, it's not that, but I just feel that Pep's system maybe is so unique that they really need the right type of players to play there.
The level is Rodri lah, I guess. He's so far away from Rodri that he's not quality, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the bar that they set. But ABK has Foden, right? ABK, you have Foden, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Foden, right, for the last 2 Premier League games, he only had 1 shot. So as a Foden owner myself, you only have 1 shot in a game, and he's playing quite centrally also now because Walker is overlapping. It's not ideal at all. So yeah, you can, I don't know, I don't have the luxury to sell unless I'm on wildcard. But for you, ABK, what do you think of Foden? For me, it's a tough hole lah. It's a hole, but I have no choice but
Yeah,
to
I want to sell him lah. I mean, like as I mentioned, that there's that spine of the team that's missing in the Man City team. So I think they aren't creating as much. So and then you look at the Man City run of fixtures coming up next, right?
Yeah.
I mean the next two games or just one more game without Rodri.
Actually, I think one more
I'm
game,
not sure.
because
I
the
can't
Carabao,
remember.
yeah, no, one more game only because of the Carabao Cup. So that's
Yeah. So
game,
So with that, I think. I mean, there's also the rotation risk of having Foden in your team.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Foden, they can play Doku, they can play Alvarez, as in whoever there. I mean, Foden, you know, like it's susceptible to the rotation. So I'm looking to move. I think I've got the points that I want from Foden in the past few games, right? And I think there are better options who are more nailed in the team and can get the same amount of points as Foden. So I would want to move Foden at this point.
This game week, before visiting your team?
Yeah, it's
Will
one
you
of the
sign him
moves.
before?
It's one of the moves I'm considering.
Diaby.
Is this Diaby? But it just depends on the injury status. Because I also have Botman in my team. So I think maybe I'll talk more about it later. But the Foden is someone I'm considering to move. Right. I think, okay, is there anything else on Foden? Because I want to discuss on Haaland. I think if you look on X... continue.
No, nothing on Foden. I'm just impressed. Yeah, you see about Haaland?
Yeah, so...
Wait, you're impressed with Foden?
No. I'm just impressed that City played the 10 p.m. game. They lost at 11:45 and they managed to transfer the funds before the Liverpool game to the refs for the...
Don't cannot
that's side.
Later the PG Amol shut down our podcast.
Our pod. I didn't say transfer to who? Why
Okay.
Still bitter.
Let's talk about
Any
Haaland.
other week, right? Yeah.
Let's talk about Haaland. Yeah, I'm quite intrigued by this. ABK.
Yeah, so I think we see, as in there are few content creators out there that actually is advocating the move out of Haaland.
Out of Haaland, yeah, I saw that.
Quite interesting.
Yeah,
it's a bit. Actually, to be honest, like it's something that I was contemplating as well. I was actually contemplating the move.
What cut?
Actually, at the start of the week, to be honest. But then, like after sitting on it, right, I feel like I didn't want to do it. So basically, like, okay, I explained in detail why yeah. I explained in detail why I didn't go. I went without Salah in my wildcard team. And then now looking at all the wildcard drafts by content creators, all have Salah inside. So I'm a bit scared now. Right? So like the only move, FOMO definitely FOMO. The only move I can make to get Salah in my team is to upgrade him from Foden and then like Haaland down to Nunes. That's one of the moves that I was contemplating. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, like there are people that are talking about leaving Haaland out. So after I sat on it, right, I feel that I think I would still keep Haaland. I wouldn't do this move of going to Salah.
Okay. NGL, because I also heard the content creator. So I was considering doing Haaland to Watkins and Nakamba to Son. Right, for hit. Then I was thinking Son and Salah, right? You can captain both of them comfortably rotation wise. Like that's how I was looking. I'm like, okay. But then when I look at Rashford, I look at Saka, then maybe I can't do that transfers. But I was considering it also because I'm thinking, oh sure, can I? But it's so scary, man. I think I probably won't do it lah. It's still too scary.
Because the thing is, okay, so like when you don't captain Haaland, at least you have Haaland's points in your team. You know, it might not be the full captain points, but at least you have that cushion of Haaland's points in your team, right? But then whereas if you sell Haaland out, right, you don't even have that cushion of Haaland's team. So if he gets like a 20-point,
but what do you guys think?
That's a 40-point.
What do you guys think?
Okay, so what I think, right, because the reason why I want to move out of Haaland, it's not only the pull factor of Salah, it's also the push factor of Haaland. Looking at Haaland's fixtures, right, he has a tougher round of fixtures compared to Liverpool, compared to Salah, right. But then to be honest, right, to be fair to Man City, right, looking at the tougher fixtures, right, they are
Brighton
playing
home is not tough.
They are playing teams that are okay. I mean, on paper it looks kind of tough, lah. Arsenal, Brighton, Man U. There's also Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs. And to be fair to Man City, right, they play better against teams that are expensive. Like they are like play attacking football, right? Because they have spaces to attack in those kind of games. Whereas like against teams like Wolves that, you know, kind of sit back, kind of defend, kind of like wait for opportunities to attack, right? I think it's harder for them in those teams, right? So actually it's good that they have tougher fixtures, to be honest, right? For Man City, so like you just have to, with Haaland, just stick with him. This is what I'm telling myself, convincing myself to stay away from Salah, to keep Haaland to captain him.
Okay,
No, I want to ask Anwar. So what do you think of my planned transfers for Haaland to Watkins, Nakamba to Son?
Okay, to be very honest with you, if I were in your position and that's a consideration, I might go for it. Okay, why? Hear me out, Okay, the only way that you can bring back Haaland into your team is through a wild card. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It's too expensive
I
to
still have
bring
my wild card
in with
in
like
case.
Exactly. So you still have your wild card. You have this plan coming up in the next 2 or 3 games to bring in like Son. Son has an amazing run of form, and if that's the only way for you to get in and Watkins to get in, I think that's a viable move, because we compare the returns that Son and Watkins probably going to get in versus Haaland, one player in the next 2 games. I think ABK mentioned something about like point per million, right? And you also have Salah in your team. So that's worthy of consideration, especially since you have your wild card. But if you don't have your wild card and you do that, and then later on when like 80-90% of owners own Haaland and you don't, then you're always like trying to find that differential every week to try to catch up on the points, then that's where you might struggle. So again, because ABK is really on the wild card, I think he probably, if he moves Haaland out of his team, the next time he can probably see Haaland in is in the next half of the season. Because you probably have to shift too many points. -8, but it's too many points too much to bring Haaland in. So that's the thing lah. So there's two sides of the coin that you can look at. If you're well prepared for the next 3-4 weeks with Aston Villa run of forms and Spurs run of games, right? Run of games, and you think you wanna move out Haaland like what Lukman is doing to get in Son and Watkins, I think it's worthy of consideration if you have the wild card. But if you don't, you just sit on it and then just hopes that he returns. Because like I said, what's his EO now? Like 94%, 95, 93%.
Yeah.
Who?
Right,
Haaland.
and the remaining 7%, I think, is not playing FPL anymore.
91.4.
So it's too much.
With Haaland, I mean, I think it could be a bit of overthinking getting him out. I mean, just look, 8 goals in 7 games. I mean, that speaks for itself. I mean, how can you live without someone that is scoring this much? I mean,
let's move on to the next segment. Kopi Takeaway. So in this segment, we'll be tackling burning questions head on, discuss key assets to look out for, highlight trends and strategies for the upcoming game week, and answer the questions that you have shared with us. But this week we have no questions.
And comment on the VAR.
So the talking point is the Liverpool and Spurs game. Anwar, you want to rant? That's why you have a podcast. Is to rant. You can go
okay,
ahead.
the silver lining amongst all this, right, around all this is that on any other
Yeah.
game week, we would have put Liverpool under our roast of the week. But because of the
Oh,
circumstances that yeah, they lost against Spurs.
oh yeah,
I mean
yeah.
in any other week lah. I mean it's a loss for Liverpool.
If
I,
11
I,
against
I,
11 and
I
we lost
wouldn't
to one.
okay. I wouldn't put them in the roast of the week. I'll put VAR in the roast of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
but
yeah.
like
Why didn't you
Yeah.
suggest that?
Pretty bad, I mean.
but like I mean even okay, ABK, you don't support Liverpool. Liverpool is like it's like
No, but he hates Spurs,
challenging
bro.
you for the title. Yeah, you hate Spurs,
He
but
hates
like I
Spurs.
mean what do you call what do you think about the calls, man?
Yeah,
It was an absolute disgrace, man.
yeah. I just shared the video of the VAR with the
Audio,
team
right?
lah. Yeah, I think audio and video lah. There's also the video. They were
Yeah.
just reviewing the footage as well. It's like when the so basically they made the wrong call, so
Like,
they thought
yeah.
it was a goal. Alright, that's why they
Yeah.
said
Yeah,
no
yeah,
comment.
yeah.
Okay, clear this
Yeah.
clear. Alright, when after when
They're
the
not watching
game
the game, lah.
sorry.
Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
concentrating on the game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're watching
Yeah,
Netflix, I think,
exactly.
in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
after that, when the game restarted, and they were like, "Oh, nothing you can do now. Nothing you can do now. Nothing you can do now." Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, I mean, you are the main ref, right? As in, you're the referee, right? I mean, like, although already you make the rules that once the game restart, you cannot change it, right? I mean, like, it's better for everyone if you make the call on field, right? Is it better to be wrong on? Yeah, I mean to restart to take back the game after the game has restarted, or is it better to make the wrong call and just live with it? I think it's definitely better to after the call. I think after the game restart, I mean you go against the rules a bit to restart the game. Hey, but
Yeah.
actually this rule, I remember like last time where a game like finished already, like final. I say maybe the rules changed. The
Brighton
game,
against Man U, right?
yeah,
Bruno,
the
is it?
game finished
Bruno
already. And
penalty.
after they called back people to restart the game, if that was possible, I didn't understand why you cannot just like
No.
bring back the game. You know,
But-
but I think
but
the
that
rules
besides
has
the
changed a
point.
bit. Maybe.
That's besides the point. I mean, like you're supposed to use this technology to help you make better decisions, right? So let's go through the first one first, the Curtis Jones red card. I mean, okay, he saw it, he thought it was worthy of a yellow, right? And then he got intervened by VAR saying that it's a potential red for him to review it, and he was shown a still image on the screen. Like it wasn't even like a slow motion replay or what. I mean, at the end of the day, he caught Bisuma's leg. It didn't look nice. It was unlucky, whatever. Yes, it might be worthy of a red. But the fact that he was shown just a still image just shows like, you know how quick or like the image was showing you the decision to make. That's one. Second thing was I don't even know why they couldn't spend like 2 seconds to draw the lines on the VAR to check, right? They didn't even draw the lines. They just showed okay offside,
Because it
offside
was
goal.
clear.
Okay, let's play on.
It was
Yeah, it was clear, but I mean like they should at least like have a simple protocol of drawing lines every time they review this VAR for offside, right? So I think that's my opinion. And the linesman was so quick to raise his flag for offside when it was clearly not offside. So it's really, I mean like if I understand correctly, they introduced some rule saying that if it's not obvious offside, the linesman doesn't raise his flag until the end of the game, and then he comments that
Like
it's
the end of the game.
possible offside, right? No, sorry. Until the end of the play. Yeah.
So suddenly
it's
at the end
quite-
of the game, it is.
Hey bro, offside. Not the end of the game, yeah. But I mean for those of you listening, the Rugby World Cup is on right now, and if you want to see any excellent use of VAR being implemented in any sport, right, you should actually watch how the rugby officials use it, because it's really, I mean, that should be like the gold standard of how you use video to actually supplement the decisions. Like they will literally pause the game, pause the time, and go through the video until they have clear and absolute outcome. And you can actually hear the voice communication between the referee
Yes,
and
the
the
thought
VR
process.
referee. So yeah, the thought process and the referee, then they will have a discussion over there. And if it's a 50-50 call, then they will usually go the other way. Yeah, so it's very clear and very precise. But I don't understand why and I think okay, I'm just ranting a bit more here. Scott
bit
Carson
more.
appeared on a podcast. I forgot which podcast this was,
Huh?
but he was saying that like like we didn't see the replay again, even at the halftime commercial until the very last part, and they didn't
Ben
even
Foster, you
mention
mean?
about it. Ben Foster, sorry, Ben Foster. No, it's Scott Carson.
Wondering
Ben Foster.
why it's called Cousins. Yeah.
Hey, why is he wearing
Sorry,
Arsenal jersey?
sorry.
Ben Foster.
He always
Yeah,
he always wear a different jersey. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's part of
Yeah.
his.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ben Foster, like he's saying that there must be something going on. I mean, like they tried to cover it up in the game itself. So I don't think it's fair for like the media to actually be, I mean,
In
to
cahoots.
cover this kind of thing up. They should at least speak about it a bit more, and then at halftime the referees could have come back with a decision to do it, and then just to apologize. And even Alex McAllister got he wrote like, okay, Alex
Sure.
McAllister, right? He said like, play against 12, and then like the FA wants to charge him for that. I mean, like, you take ownership for the fact that you know that it was directed towards you. So it's a lot of question marks behind this.
Yeah,
But if anything,
I gotta say
Okay,
though,
so-
like Liverpool, right, for a team that was playing
Last one.
9 men, right, against 11, right.
Yeah.
What a game, lah! What a game! Like,
Ex-
Alisson
exactly,
played.
yeah.
I mean, don't take anything away from Liverpool. Like Alisson played a game of his life. I feel like it was just unlucky that last minute goal. But that defense against 9 men, it's damn difficult to play 9 men. I mean, you're playing
Yeah.
long periods with 10 men, and then you play with 9 men. That's kind of crazy how they even managed to keep at bay
Anwaar?
this Tottenham team. So pretty solid,
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
say.
I mean, like Klopp had the 7-year curse last season, right? And I think like even as a fan, a Liverpool fan, I think Klopp has always been accused of not being so adept tactically, like to change tactics for his
Agreed.
team. It's always been pressing 4-3-3, it's like that. But I think if you look at what he's done this season, right, I think he's actually
Yeah.
changed a little bit. Like he wanted to bring in Nunes on to to create some chaos lah, and then Jota came in with the
I
red
hate
card.
Jota, man.
I think
Jota
that was
so
unnecessary. That was unnecessary. But the
Stupid,
first yellow card wasn't. That one I don't blame the
Yeah,
ref.
but
I think
still
Jota
the
shouldn't
second one
have
is-
done it.
Ah.
Yeah, and then he
Because
decided
at 10
like,
men we could
okay,
have won.
yeah, we could have produced something lah.
We could have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but I
On
think
Klopp,
what he
right?
did was
Yeah.
Klopp, he actually showed in his defense. Like he brought in a few more legs in, like Gravenberch for McAllister. He took out Gomez. He brought in who else in defense? Yeah, and then I think the only
Konate.
mistake was he should have kept Gomez on the pitch instead of Trent. But I think it was clear that what he wanted to do was he wanted to delay the plays and then see if he can get a corner free kick or something like that, and see if he can convert.
Actually, ironically, right,
And
when Liverpool went to 9, right, and then Klopp changed made the changes, right, to went 5 at the back. It was harder for Spurs to score because we were so compact, and they were just
Yes.
cutting in, right, their wingers. So ironically,
And-
going down to 9 made it harder for Spurs, but harder for us to
Correct.
score lah, for sure.
And I think
Yeah.
okay, I give huge respect to Big Ange, right? Even though
Lagi.
Matip scored the own goal. No, really.
Okay.
Even though Matip scored the own goal, I think what
Okay.
Ange saw, I don't know. This could be just me like hyping up Ange, but I think what
Oh,
he
he
saw
didn't
was
celebrate,
that
is it?
Madison. No, didn't celebrate. It's the substitution that he made. He took out Son. He took out Madison, right? And people were like saying, "Why are you taking out your best players against a 9-man team?"
Actually-
And I think that what
Yeah.
he did there was actually to shift the attack a little bit, because he with these two players in, they were always trying to get in behind. They were trying to play the true passes. They were trying to play wide and cutting the ball back in, and there wasn't much physical presence in the box. So what he did was he took out Madison, he put in and Son, he put in the a bigger presence up front with the youngster. I don't know who he was, but I think he's a 6'2" striker. And then it was very
Veliz.
obvious that the shape changed a bit more, right? With Højbjerg in the middle pushing out wide, and then they just started throwing in the crosses, and then one eventually went in. So
Yeah, but it's
I would
crazy
give Ange some credit for that, right?
Yeah,
Because he knew
true.
that we were compact there, and we just had to make sure that put the bodies in the box and cross it in and hope
Okay.
for the best.
Okay.
In conclusion, you still got some more.
No. I just want to dial back to the FPL aspect
Okay.
of Liverpool versus Spurs. Alright, so
Okay, yeah.
Liverpool, the only asset that you should consider Salah. Everyone else is
Yeah.
no. defenders, no
Actually, right.
Nunes.
Actually, right. If I was on a wildcard, right, I'll be tempted to put in Trent. I would be. I'll play around with it
It's a
and
bit
see how
expensive,
the
lah. It's
rest
a
of the
bit
team goes.
expensive, lah. I mean, I
Yeah,
would rather.
but I would be tempted.
Yeah, I mean, a Trippier
Yeah.
6.5. I rather keep input Trippier than
exactly.
Maybe.
and then Trent.
Or maybe
because-
Trippier and maybe Trent and Diaz. Then just forgo Salah. Maybe I'll try play
No,
around
no,
if
no,
I'm
I
on a
think
wildcard.
that's just overthinking. Okay, and then that's for Liverpool. For the Spurs side, I think it's actually quite viable. Looking at their fixture runs to go triple Spurs. I
Share
mean,
with you my wildcard.
Who's on your
options later.
wildcard? Who's on your triple Spurs wildcard?
I
Quite
mean,
straightforward.
Poro, Maddox.
Poro or Dogi, right?
Me?
Poro and Udogi.
Yeah, I brought in Poro, Madison, and Son.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
quite
you
straightforward.
can replace the Udogi with Poro as well if you don't have enough cash to go Poro. lah. I think that's kind of like everyone's triple up. I think these
Yeah.
three guys. Lah. Yeah.
So to end this conversation, right? So that's the first time a goal is awarded, but not given. Okay, so let's move on to. Because the goal was awarded, right, by the VAR,
What if we
but it wasn't given.
Never mind lah.
Is
We
that a
move
correct
on.
statement?
lah.
Bro? Move on. Okay, move on.
But I really hope. Okay, I really hope that with
Cannot process this
with
at
this
7
incident, right?
Huh?
With this incident, they actually make some better calls for VAR. lah.
Yeah,
But
who knows?
yeah,
Okay, let's move on. Okay, I want to talk about the blank and double game weeks in game week 18 onwards. So after Man City and Brentford were out of the Carabao, right? We already knew game week 18 were blanks for both Man City and Brentford. But Ben Crellin, if you guys are not following him yet, follow him on X. He thinks that Man City and Brentford will most likely double in game week 20. So that will give Man City a double game week of Sheffield at home and Brentford at home. So that is a triple captain opportunity, and Brentford will have a double of Crystal Palace away and Man City away. So the last opportunity to play your wildcard, right, is actually game week 20 on that double game week. So you wouldn't want to use your wildcard on that game week because you want to use your triple captain, right? So game week 19 will probably be the best time to use if you still haven't used it yet. So I'm thinking in that wildcard 19, right, I could like triple out on City, and then I could double out on Brentford. I could have like Flecken and Mbeumo, for example, because they have a double and they have a good run of fixtures also after the double 20. And then like leading up to get the blank 18, right, I could sell my Man City players. So I blank, I did end, and then wildcard back that in. So that's what I'm planning to do. But of course, like I'm thinking, okay, maybe a -4, -8 is worth it for holding my wildcard. But I'm thinking if my team is in bad shape, maybe I will just scrape this pen. And there's also one more factor.
Yeah.
Salah will miss games from game week 21 through AFCON. So he will miss a
AFCON,
minimum
yeah.
of 2 games. 2 to 4 games. So you can even go without Salah in your game week 19 because he will miss in 21 onwards. So there's another factor. So there's a lot of things you can do with this wildcard, which is pretty powerful. Because without a wildcard, it's difficult, I guess, to triple out on
Yeah.
City on a double. Of course, there's a lot of factors like rotation, there's Christmas period, and also that game week 19, right, I'll be on holiday also. Then there's short turnaround 3 days before. I think it's a Tuesday deadline, and then Saturday is game week 18. So but it's fine because my in-laws are coming with me on my holiday, so I have time. So So what do you think?
But I think Lokman's strategy is interesting. I think this comes a lot with his experience playing like the UCL fantasy and all this. So he looks
Different,
he's really looking ahead like a wild card followed by blank followed by double game week. How can I maximize those points? And if your team setup structure is good now, why not keep it for week 19? But otherwise, in my opinion, you have 2 wild cards, one at the first half of the season and another one at the second half of the season. So generally, if you were to look it from a very like a conservative point of view, you have like 2 opportunities to change your team. So if you split the season into 3 thirds, right? So 38 divided by 3, usually around game week 10 to 13 is when you wanna do your first wild card, and then again in game 26, 20. But again, the strategy that you put is quite interesting to consider. And it's still like 19 game weeks ahead. But don't keep your wild cards if you're really struggling just to play this.
I think
Okay,
that's-
so to recap,
that-
wait,
that's
BK.
the-
Wait.
Go ahead.
So to recap, they blank in 18 and then 19 and then double in 20, but it's not confirmed. It's just a high probability because they're both out of the Carabao. So ABK, what do you think?
Yeah, so I just feel that I mean, don't be too like stuck to this strategy like in your head that you because
I
of
need to
that
do it, I need
strategy,
to do
right?
it.
You don't want to play your wild card, right? And then because of that, right? Your team, like maybe like there'll be weeks where you feel like, oh, you really need to fix your team, but you don't do it because of this strategy. Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we are given this wildcard opportunity, right? And I feel that generally you should play earlier because that's where you can catch price changes, right?
Oh yeah,
And that's also you
price
can
team
you
value
can,
is damn bad now.
yeah, I mean that's where you can change the momentum of your team. I feel like, and which is what I did.
Correct.
I mean, doing it earlier, right, will help like maximize the wildcard more than doing it later in the season, right?
Yeah, and I
Okay,
agree
I
with
want to ask you.
BK. I agree with BK
So
because
what's the-
also, yeah.
Okay.
No, because also at the start of the season, you probably don't quite know which players are going to perform better and all this, who's going to go into a streak of form and all this. And I think keeping it too late, unless you had amazing foresight at the start of the season, I think it's going to be a bit risky also.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if we come to ask you, so from now to game week 19, the my wildcard, right? So that's about 13 game weeks.
Still long
What's
way
the
to go.
threshold of hits? What's the threshold of hits I should take for me to hold my wildcard? Like minus 12, 4 hits.
Actually,
in
to be honest,
13
like
game weeks?
-4 already enough already. Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't
13
you
game
shouldn't
weeks,
exceed -4. I remember like what Wesley said. Wesley only took like one hit, right, the whole season last year.
I wouldn't take a
Yeah.
hit at all, bro.
Hit? Huh?
Yeah,
So if I have to take a hit this game week, I should just wildcard, man? No. What?
No, as
I
in,
mean,
yeah,
like-
don't play too much hits. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
4
because-
points is a lot, no?
Yeah, I mean it's accumulated. I mean, think about it as accumulation. You are taking
Yeah.
hits now.
Yeah, that's why I'm
and then
asking you,
you're
the
taking hits,
accumulation.
like, into, yeah.
For
So,
13 game weeks,
like,
what's the
I
threshold
think
in your head?
I say in 13 games. I don't know,
Roughly.
man. Like I can't put a number, but I feel like if there's any week you have to play more than a -4, right?
Minus
I think
8 lah.
that's
So
when you
minus
have
8
to.
is
Yeah,
Wild
that's
card.
when you have to consider that. Okay, maybe how about I think of a wild card this week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yep,
Off the
let's
menu,
move on.
differential pick less than 5%. Recap from last week. Anwaar.
So last
The only
week
win for
we
me this
had,
week,
I think ABK and Lokman had the same strategy. They wanted to go in with a double game week option. Lokman went for the conservative Morris from Luton. And ABK surprised us with Mike Tresor. Is it Mike Tresor or Tresor? 0.0%
They've not
own.
even
and
featured
0 minutes.
0 minutes.
And then I went with Antonio. And I think this week, Lokman, first time on the podium. Morris with 10-point return. One
Bro,
goal,
podium
right?
is top
One
three,
goal.
bro.
Yeah lah, top of the
One
podium lah.
goal, yeah.
Podium,
Yeah,
okay,
top
okay.
of the
On the top of the podium lah. So with one goal, two game appearances with 10 points. Antonio on 5 and Tresor with a blank. Yeah.
Monsieur
Double game week
Tresor.
blank, bro. But just a quick one. I play EAFC quite a bit, and then to be fair, Mike Tresor has a higher rated card than Jeremy Doku.
Really? Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's on
Wow.
78. I think Doku is on 77. So I mean, ABK is probably playing some
Why he never play
football
though?
manager somewhere. But
What's the tally now on of the menu? How many points each of us have?
I created the Google sheet, right? But I never completed it. So
I think ABK is on
if
3
any of you are
points.
free.
I'm on 1 and Lokman is on 1. So we
Hey,
are
bro,
each
speaking
on
of-
1.
3 points, right? He's off. One of ABK's former OTM pick, right, is flying, man. Pedro Neto, man. He is
Yes,
crazy.
I have to say, like, I off the menu him early on, so early on, like it's like before he even got his
man.
like
We
first
should buy
assist,
him
I
in,
think.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's in Anwar's wildcard draft.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, let's.
I thought
How
he's-
about this coming game
yeah.
week? Who want to go first?
Okay, I just do a quick one. I'm getting another forgotten man. Pedro Neto is one of the forgotten men from seasons past because of his injury hit season. I think I'm getting someone on the same kind of reasoning. I think the guy I'm choosing this week is playing against Bournemouth from Everton. It's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He had 2 injury hit seasons, but then I think he's in the past 3 games for Everton, he's scored 1 goal apiece, right? Including the League Cup games. So that's the guy I'm going for, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go next. Should I
Yep.
go next? So it's the same matchup. So I have a Bournemouth player, the talisman, Big Dominic Solanke, 2.3% owned. So he is the talisman, as I said. So he's actually quite an underrated pick, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, pretty decent
yeah.
though.
Yeah,
I
it will
think
be
he
exciting to
might
watch
be-
Everton and Bournemouth to see our off
I
the
don't-
menu picks go against each other.
Yeah. Anwaar?
Yeah. My player is from Aston Villa. I think he's quite underrated as well. I mean, he plays defensive midfielder, but he's been popping up with the goals so far. I'm going with Douglas Lewis.
DL.
Interesting.
Yeah, Douglas
Interesting.
Lewis. So he's at 5.4
Interesting.
million and 2.6% ownership. So I
Alright.
think it's going to be a interesting of the many pick. Hopefully, it's not a repeat of last week, and we get more points in for our picks this week.
Okay,
Alright,
let's go to our teams. I'll go first, and then ABK and Anwar's wildcard draft. Okay, so I ended up with 44 points, 2.2 to 2.7. So actually, my transfers this week, right, were actually nil on. So I bought Trippier and Morris for Wissa and Chilwell. So even then, right, the rest of my team just stinks, because I have Pickford in goal, I have Trippier, Bayer, so Botman and Vardiel didn't appear in my team. So Nakamba and Estupinan came on, net positive of 1. Then Salah, Saka, Rashford, Foden, Captain Haaland, and Morris. So coming to this game, right, I have one free transfer. We didn't touch on like the injuries on Son and Meadow, right? Because they are carrying niggling injuries, right? So so you look at my team coming out this way, right? I'm set up with 3-4-3, so not ideal. So Pickford in goal, Trippier, Vardiel, Estupinan. So Vardiel plays Arsenal, Estupinan plays Liverpool. Then I have Salah, who was he's on my captain now at the moment because I'm not going to captain Haaland against Arsenal. I have Saka, Rashford, Foden, Archer. I have to start Archer, Haaland, and then I have to start Morris also. So it's not
Bro, I
looking
think
good. So should I
Due
walk
for
out?
wildcard, man. Sounds like
I'm
due
not
for
feeling the
wildcard.
wildcard. So
You're not
what I
feeling
can
the
do, right,
wildcard
is
with
just
Pickford in goal.
okay, the thing is, all the other goalkeepers you all have, right? Like for example, Areola, right? That's his first clean sheet of the season. Flecken hasn't got a clean sheet this season. So who else should I get?
John
You know what I mean?
Stowe.
Areola,
Johnstone.
yeah, maybe Johnston. Johnston is the one. but I
Anyone
don't
is
know
better
about
than
Johnston
Pickford at the
because there's-
moment.
Crystal Palace
3
is
points is better than
I think
1 or 0.
underrated, under the radar.
But there's Dean
defense,
Henderson, right? Dean
Yeah,
Henderson is still waiting in the
that.
wings.
Yep.
So like, I don't know whether I'll go Johnston. If I'm going to walk out now, I'm going to walk out for 20 over game weeks, right? So yeah, I don't know. And Turner also not definitely nailed also because of the Greek goalkeeper. But anyway, yeah, so my transfers are, I can just do one free transfer, either selling Saka or Rashford to Madison. If I want to get Son, right, I will need to take a hit. So let's say Rashford to Son, right, I will have to take a hit and sell Vardiel also. Because Vardiel also didn't start, right? So I only can afford like, the only bad thing is I only can afford like the like 4.7. So the list is quite a lot. I could get Gabriel,
Gabriel.
I could get
Udogi.
Kufal, I could get Pau Torres, I could get Van der Ven, I could get Mitchell.
Udogi is
So there's
priced
5
out.
options.
Udogi is 4.8.
Yeah,
right?
Udogi price up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only can get Kufal, Pau Torres, Van der Ven, Gabriel, or Mitchell. There are these 5 options. I don't know. I will decide later on if I'm doing this move. But I don't know whether I'm getting some. I could get Meadow for not here. So yeah, that's my move.
Yeah,
Honestly, right, to be honest, I look at your team, right, I will can't say.
yeah, looking
Serious?
really
I
challenging
think,
for
okay,
you.
but
bro.
it's a bit too late now because like you already made the decision not to walk out and you already missed out on maybe some price.
Maybe
price
game week-
futures.
Not much,
maybe
not
after-
much, not
But
much.
I feel
actually.
like
No.
I would I really
No, the thing is
wildcards,
I would do it
looking
after
at
international
Archer
break
and
because
Morris
there's a lot of
in your
injuries.
team. You're playing both Archer
No,
and
Morris,
eh?
bro. Morris is fine. Morris is a good fixture, bro.
Against-
And Archer also.
I don't know.
Okay,
Bro,
okay,
Spurs
okay.
at home is a prime
You do
fixture.
you, bro. You do you.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
move on to ABK Steve.
Okay, a quick one for my team. Really happy with this game week. 76 points. I came up from 2.7 million to 900k lah. So really good.
Okay.
My wildcard
Solid
really
week.
worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, set up in a 3-5-2 this week. I had Areola in goal. Dakhil, Gabriel, and Trippier came in with the points, 12 points this week. In the midfield, I have Madison, Bowen, Son, Foden, Fernandes. Up front, Watkins, and Haaland is my captain. Yeah, so I got Botman. Botman was actually subbed out. So I had who did I have? I had Gabriel. Who did I have on outside? Waiting. I had Gabriel. Gabriel first on the bench. Yeah, so
Nice.
Gabriel came on for Botman. Yeah, okay, so anyway, how I'm set up for next week is the same what's that formation 3-5-2. Areola in goal over Turner. So I think a lot of people are playing Turner this week, but I'm actually sticking to Areola against Newcastle at home. Defense Cash, Botman, Trippier. Midfield Madison, Bowen, Foden, Fernandes, and I'm going to put Son as my captain this week. Up front I got Watkins and Haaland. So I'm actually considering to move Botman out because he's orange flag. He's not going to play this week, right? But the other move that I'm considering is to get Foden out of my team. Maybe get someone like Diaby or some other midfielders. Yeah. So with Botman not changing Botman out, I'm waiting for the international break for him to recover lah. So Gabriel will actually come on for Botman. Yeah, so
Bro,
considering this move.
Al-Dahil prime fixture, bro. Chelsea at home. That's like a clean sheet guaranteed.
No man, Dakhil and Archer
Chelsea's
like
got 2.
are the 2-3.
But before that, they scored 5 goals in 6 games. I don't know. I think it's fine to play Al-Dahil over Gabriel lah. Right. If you need to lah. I think don't sell Botman. I think Botman after international break he might come back. So I think you just hold him in case.
Yeah.
And play Al-Dahil.
I would play Al-Dahil. Right? I would definitely play Gabriel. Back my own team, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Then with your transfer Foden too?
Foden to Bailey Diaby. Considering that, but I mean Diaby is also flagged back. Yeah, not sure.
So I don't mind keeping also. I don't mind rolling also lah.
Yeah.
But I want to play Al-Dakhil. Okay. Thank you.
Disappointing Al-Dahil, like considered a goal at the 84th minute.
The penalty.
Yeah, I'm not joking, It's Chelsea at home, bro. Chelsea. I know they scored 2, but it's still they scored 5 goals in the first 6 games. Okay, anyway, Anwar, that's your wildcard draft. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
how did your team go first this game week?
So my team has been really bad this week. Only 41 points out of everything, and then I think I was in a very similar situation to what Lokman is this week. Like if I were to move, I could only move like 1 or 2 players. I'm really bound by the fact that I had Salah and Haaland in my team. So how I set up this week, I have Pickford in goal. Really pissed off with him. Saliba, Estupinian, -2 points there. Kabore. So it was so bad that I have to decide to start Kabore over Udogi. Then I had Saka in midfield. If he was injured, I would have lost 9 points there. Mitoma, Rashford, Diaby, Salah, Haaland and Alvarez up front. Alright. So I actually wildcarded this week, and I think it's a good time to wildcard because of the players that I have and the fixtures that they were facing. I think I was going to shift out my Brighton assets. I think they're going to have they're kind of losing their steam a little bit, and they have quite challenging fixtures coming up with Liverpool, City, and even if you put it Fulham with a very defensive team ahead. So I had to shift them out, and then Saliba, Saka is injured, ? Then I have Saliba in defense, and then so, and I think one of the main push, or would I say push or pull factor, is that Spurs and Aston Villa have very, very good games coming up, and I think that if I need to catch up the points, I would need to have the assets in. So I might be a bit too trigger happy in having a double Aston Villa and double like a triple Aston Villa, triple Spurs.
Okay, say out your draft
players in my team. So my draft in goal, I changed both my option to Areola and Johnston. So I'm starting Johnston this week. I threw away Pickford and Turner. Okay. In defense, I've actually so I think last week now I understand why ABK last week didn't want to bring Salah in, and his point for like points per $1 million actually went through my mind, but I couldn't go without Salah in my team. So with Salah in my team and not having the balls to actually wait, I'm getting to why my defensive option is like this. With having Salah and Haaland in this team, one of the sacrifices that I have to make is I have to have a cheaper defense, and my argument for that is that defensively, I think it's more open this season. We don't see as many clean sheets as before. So with that, I have Porro, who's a attacking player from Spurs. I have Matty Cash, who's also an attacking asset from defensive. I've bought Man, but I put him in first to show that I can afford him. And then I might bring Dan Burn in first if he's really injured, because I'm on the wild card, and then I could consider him again later. And then I have Kabore and Dakhil, who are my two forders on the bench. So these two players are like 90-minute forders lah. So at least if I need to put them in, they are like 90 minutes players. In midfield, I brought in Madison and Son. I couldn't decide between both, and I managed to put them both in with Diaby and Salah. So Diaby and Salah are my mainstays. And to counter that, I have Pedro Neto, who's actually pretty decently cheap and coming to form. So yeah, and up front I have Haaland, Watkins, and Archer. So if you see, right, my team, right, actually I managed to squeeze in quite a number of premium assets in terms of like Salah, Son, Haaland, Watkins, in the expense of like a cheaper defensive option. And I think one of the things that I need to be very careful about with this team, and I'm on 0 points now, so I really maxed out all my cash on this one.
Zero in the bank.
0 in the bank. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is that the Spurs and the Aston Villa, at least for the next game, they're looking good. And the next 2-3 games, they're looking good. I might be a little worried about the international break. But other than that, with this kind of team and with this kind of setup, I need to be very careful with my transfers. And I think that I always need to have at least 2 transfers in the bank. Because if anything happens, right, like let's say Neto is out, for example, or one of my defensive option is out, I don't really have many options to move, but to sacrifice one of my like middle price midfielder, Diaby or Madison, and that player to shift the team around. So I think that's the struggle that we have with this team moving forward. But I'm willing to put all my eggs in one basket, and this is my World Cup team.
Yep. I think I have no comments there because one thing I want to mention was your weak bench, but you already covered that by saying how you want to keep two free transfers. I mean, you're getting like the minimum amount you're spending on the bench, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's the only thing that I want to say about your team, lah. Yeah, but I mean with Salah in your team, you have to make sacrifices, and I think what you sacrifice there is the spot on Trippier, which is a popular pick, and also maybe that's Neto spot lah. Maybe you could have gone for somewhat more expensive, like maybe Saka or something, but because of that you have to go for Neto. But I think it works out in the end. I think it's a pretty decent team. You cover all the popular assets that you need to cover.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So for the listeners out there, right?
Yeah.
So for the listeners out there, if you're still like confused between whether should I have Salah in the team or not, I think you can just follow mine and ABK's journey right now from our World Cup and see where this ends up. And if you're happy to pull the trigger at any point in time, just see the progress from game week 7 onwards and we see who's ahead after that. For now, ABK's team is looking pretty decent.
Yeah,
So
it's
let's see how
quite
it
it's
is
quite a
like
good
4-5
comparison
games
because I mean we have kind of similar teams except that I went without Salah and you went with Salah, so we can test out my hypothesis on this thing lah.
Yeah, that's one to look forward to.
Yeah, man, good job, man. Anwar. And your explanation actually quite impressive. You said you did it from this morning. You didn't work this morning.
No, I did it in the toilet, bro. Most of the thinking
really,
in the toilet, bro. That's
Shower
very-
thoughts.
It's quite impressive, bro. It's that impressive that I actually want to copy your team on my World Cup. Can I do that?
Bro, then you will never get.
Okay, the only bad part, right?
It's not.
The only bad part is you need to sell Sun, right, to get Saka. I feel you probably need Saka soon-ish.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, right?
So-
which I
So
think
my
is fine,
exit, my exit option is always either Madison Sun because it's a double Spurs midfield.
right? Yeah.
So
I
that's
think Son
a
to
decent
Saka.
exit option, and I think that's workable as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but well explained, bro. I'm quite impressed.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. It's been quite long. If you guys are still listening to this right now, thank you so much for taking the time out.
Are we not
will
covering
finish
mini-league?
off.
Our mini league.
Yeah. We will finish off with the mini league. I mean, if you are not in the top 3, you can just shut out now, lah. It's okay. But if you guys are in the top 3, we have a new number 3. By the name of Gary Au with the team name Teh Si Sui Tai. And retaining second place, we have Alex Lau with the team name Are You Sure No Gabriel. And at
Gabriel.
first place, climbing from 9th to 1st with a whopping 79 points, is Muhammad Shabil with the team name Kita Peng Yu. What does that mean?
I have no idea. So.
Kita Peng Yu.
Kita.
friend,
If you are on the
Kita
WhatsApp, if you are on the Telegram group, please explain
Yeah.
your.
Bill,
team name.
Shabil, just explain your team name. We a bit oblivious. Okay, 79 points. So his transfers were Region to cash. just one free transfer. He got 79 points. So what nailed him the 79 points is basically triple Arsenal, White, Saka and Odegaard. So I don't know how he got Odegaard in the team 17 points. So
White,
he got Pickford in goal.
White is the most unpopular Arsenal
correct.
defensive because he's 5.5.
He got that's true. He got Pickford in goal, the one with everyone hates. He got Burn, Cash, White, Saka, Odegaard, Diaby, Ward-Prowse. He got Højlund, he brought in last week. Alvarez and Captain Haaland. So yeah, he's ranked 12k in the world. So yeah, crazy team. This is super non-tablet because of Odegaard and White.
Yeah.
And Højlund also. I will say Højlund will be an interesting pick for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Because I think most people won't, even on wildcard, they're not considering Højlund also. Right, so quite interesting pick to have Højlund. It will be good to see him. He's an Arsenal fan, so having triple Arsenal.
He is a Gunnar.
Yeah.
Crazy triple luck though. Crazy triple luck. That's the anyway,
lucky to have Aston Villa and a third on his bench. I gotta say. No minus.
Actually, his auto start was Saka for Vardiol. He benched Saka for Vardiol.
Oh, I got lucky there, man.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so if you haven't joined, just as a reminder, we give out our Premier League jersey of choice to the season winner of our league. So you may find the league code at the Telegram channel where we administer our league and interact with the community.
Yep, we appreciate all of your support and do give us a like, subscribe and share on all our socials. You can find FPL Kopi Talks on our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube and X. Links are embedded in the description below.
We will be back next week. I don't remember when, either Monday or Tuesday night, to review Game Week 8 before the 2-week break, international break. So any questions, just hit us on our socials. Thank you, ABK.
Thank you, Rukman.
Thank you, Anwaar.
Yeah, justice for VAR.
And thank you to me. You're welcome. We are FPL Kopi Talks signing out.
You're listening to FPL Kopi Talks. Right here. Right now.